Thank you for stopping to watch this video. I'm going to start off with 3 simple questions, and I hope you have a pen paper. First question, do you want to leave a legacy for future generations? Question number 2, do you want to save taxes year after year, generations after generations? And number 3, do you want to learn the secret of the rich? Thank you for stopping by here because I'm going to teach you what the rich know and that every U.S. business owner, U.S. 1099 income earner, and U.S. investor should also know. The Spendthrift Trust. It is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. Let me repeat that. It's in IRS Tax Code 643B, like Bravo. The only way it can change is if Congress changes the tax code. And I'm not trying to be political or apolitical, but Congress has a lot on its plate and it's not looking at things. And if they do change the tax code, the only thing that changes is I can't sell any new trusts, but my personal business trust and beneficial trust is a contract and they can't break that. So have some pen and paper because I'm going to go over quite a bit of information that every U.S. business owner, U.S. 1099 income earner, and U.S. investor should know. Imagine saving 4, 5, 6 figures in taxes year after year, generation after generation. You can use this money to pay off your mortgage, to buy a new car, to take your family on a vacation, to save for retirement, to give to charity. It's your money to do with what you want. Imagine all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. Think of all the lost sleep you won't have to deal with, all the worry you won't have to deal with, the anxiety, all the costs for lawsuits, hiring an attorney, going to court, everything else. It all just goes away. Because if you have everything in the trust cannot be sued. Imagine that the playing field for all U.S. business owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors is equal. No one knows what you own, how much you own, where you own it, what you do with it, or how you're going to get rid of it. That is what it is. Welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. My name is Sally Gimmon. I'm the owner of thetrustisyou.com. I'm a representative of a private law firm that has the copyright on the Benson Financial Trust. Paul Benson was a Harvard law professor who wrote the 5 different trusts 76 years ago, and they've never been audited. It's an amazing thing. Now, to give you a little bit of history, the trust comes from way back when King Henry VIII, that famous king who chopped off his wives' heads, started the Church of England. That is back in 15. I have to look at this because I don't remember. That was back in 1534. He started the Church of England so he could divorce his wives. Hey, murder a few ladies, start divorcing them. He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went further back to the history to the Magna Carta. Said, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law that came to the colonies while we were still part of Britain. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. For 3.5 centuries, they've had this trust. I've got case law and everything. Now, I believe, let me go over my belief stations. I believe every business owner, 1099 income earner, and U.S. investor needs to know this information. It's not taught in schools or universities. I spent 5 months researching this, and if I want to share it with other people. I believe, since I found a solution for my short-term capital gains, I'll tell you my story in a few minutes, that it's my duty to share this information with as many people as possible. And I believe the playing field for all size businesses must be equal. Again, why do the Amazons of the world get free land when the rest of us don't? So write this down. The Spendthrift Trust is going to save you in 4 very important ways. Listen up. Number 1, it's going to save you taxes year after year, generation after generation legally. Number 2, all your information is kept private. Nobody knows what you have, where you own it, or what you do with it. Number 3, no lawsuits. So if someone tries to sue you, it becomes frivolous and it goes away. And number 4, if you're not aware of the 2024 Corporate Transparency Act from the Treasury Department, with the Benson Financial Trust, you're exempt from doing that paperwork. Please, if you don't get a trust, do the paperwork. It's very important because if you don't do the paperwork, you could be fined $10,000 and or 2 years in jail. Yikes, that's a lot. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why doesn't my financial advisor know this? Why doesn't my CPA know this? That's a great question. There are over 1 million attorneys in the United States, and only 4% are trust attorneys. This is what trust attorneys work with. And in law school, trust attorneys study a very specialized book called Scott and Asher on Trust, 5th edition. There's an entire chapter dedicated to the Spendthrift Trust. This is why trust attorneys know this. Regular attorneys and CPAs don't know this. I'm not making fun of CPAs. I will never be a CPA because I'm dyslexic and I transpose numbers. But most CPAs work in the 300, 400 tax code and file 1040 tax returns. With any of the trusts that we're going to discuss today, you will file a 1041 tax return and get special privileges with that. So let's get into this. Since we're going to be spending some time together, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a real estate investor. My story starts back in October 2018. It was a watershed month for me. 3 major things happened. I was living in Phoenix, Arizona. My oldest nephew was getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina. I had been working for the company for a year and a half, and I requested the Friday before the wedding and the Monday after the wedding off. I had vacation time. I requested it off, and I was denied. Yes, as open enrollment for in Medicare, so I understand that, but that made me start thinking. Second thing that happened, my brand new 3-week-old car, my little sports car that I love with a moonroof. I'm driving to work for 7 o'clock in the morning on Indian School Road, a major east-west road in Phoenix. I'm the second car through on a green light when some bozo runs the red light, T-bones me on my passenger side. He had no insurance, and silly Sally had the paperwork for gap insurance sitting on her kitchen table. So I didn't have gap insurance. All of a sudden, I went from being comfortable to having 2 car loans and because I had to get a second car. Yikes. And then the third thing that happened, my mom and dad, who lived in Goodyear, Arizona, 20 miles west of Phoenix, drove to Charlotte for the wedding. The Thursday before the wedding, I get a phone call from my dad saying my mom's in the emergency room. They're not sure what's wrong. It ended up she had septic to the blood. She was on a ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. Thank God she got better, but my parents stayed in the Charlotte area for more than 9 months. All of this happened in late October. I was going out to my mom and dad's house every week to do the mail because my dad had planned to be gone for only 2 weeks, not 9 months. So I was doing the mail, and the first week of December, there was a letter that was 27 pages thick. It was my mom's statement from Medicare for her first month in the hospital. She was in the emergency room, and she was on the ventilator. When I opened it up, the 27 pages were folded in half. You unfolded them, and it said her hospital stay for 1 month was $72,000. Thank God my father was a retired military officer. They had TRICARE for life. Everything was being paid for. I'm standing in my mom and dad's kitchen, and I'm like, I need to change my life. I have a mortgage. I have student loans. I have 2 car loans that I'm paying for. I'm eating ramen noodles twice a week. I have credit card debt. And thank God I didn't get injured in that car accident because I have an $8,000 deductible from my health insurance. It's a little bit scary. What if you fall, trip and hurt your back again? I really messed up my back in 2016. So right then and there in my mom and dad's kitchen, I called my friend Glenn who had invited me to a real estate meeting in 2018. And I said, Glenn, I need to change my life. How do I become a real estate investor? He's like, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Bring a $5 gift and some food and meet my fellow real estate investors. I don't know about y'all, but going to a party where you don't know anybody, a little bit scary. It was the best decision of my life. I went to that party. I met some great people, started real estate investing. And in 2019, still working full-time as a Medicare broker, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide. I was a rock star in my real estate group. I knew about capital gains. I put aside $50,000 for capital gains, and I thought I was covered. My CPA called me. You never wanted to take a phone call from your CPA. He's like, Sally, you need to make an appointment with me. So I made a 4:30 appointment in Scottsdale to talk to him. Scottsdale's east of Phoenix. I drove out there, kept it together, go up to his office. He says, Sally, your tax rate, there's 7 different tax rates from 10% to 37%, 7 different tax rates. My tax rate went from 22% up to 24%. I made a whole lot more money. Yay, Sally. Bad Sally. I now owed $79,000 in short-term capital gains to the federal government. I had $50,000 saved. I was short $29,000. I'm like, yikes. He was going to set me up on a payment plan. He had the paperwork ready. I kept it together. My stomach's down to my feet, but I kept it together. I signed the paperwork. I got my parking validated. I went down to the parking garage and I literally cried for 20 minutes. I don't know about y'all, but wholesaling is fast or famine or fast, because once you do a wholesale deal, you've got cash, but then you got to do another wholesale deal a second time. I'm driving back from Scottsdale back to Phoenix in the sunset, tears just rolling down my eyes. Get home, my boyfriend made dinner. We sat across from each other, and they're like, $79,000. That's all we kept saying to each other. My solution, I took a HELOC out on my paid off house, completely defeats the purpose of being completely debt free, but I took it, my house was paid off 3 months earlier. I took a HELOC out, paid off the remaining money I owed, and this is during COVID. This is now April 2000. Everything shut down. I have some time. I'm working from home. I have my 2-hour commute, an hour to work, an hour from work. I'm doing it all from home. I've got so much time in my hand. I don't know what to do. I start researching. I had read an article about the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. They call it the office. And I started researching it. For 5 months, I researched the Spendthrift Trust. And in September of 2000, I started both my business and my beneficial Spendthrift Trust. And then I petitioned, and I was the first woman to run a mastermind in my real estate group in Phoenix. I'm very proud of that fact, because women should get involved in real estate. So now I want to teach as many people what I know. In 3.5 years, I have wholesaled 28 properties. I have 3 rentals, which I'm the landlord on. I've got 12 notes where I am the mortgage on the house, and now 3 seller financing properties. I have a crypto bot. I have 3 online businesses. I can legally say I have saved over 6 figures in federal taxes in 3.5 years. What I know, I want to teach to you all. Now, to give you a little bit of information about the trust, there are 5 elements to the trust that are super important. And let me go over these. It's irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, spendthrift trust. All 5 elements are very important to the trust. Irrevocable, it goes from generation to generation. 97% of the trusts that are sold every year are what my mom and dad had, what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television, the family trust or the living trust. That's revocable, and it ends when the last person passes away. Then it dissolves and all the money has to be dispersed. So this is irrevocable. The Rockefellers Trust is 7 generations old and has almost 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number, the tax ID number, to file the paperwork. Number 2, irrevocable, complex. This trust can hold money day to day, week to week, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. Again, it doesn't dissolve like the beneficial trust. There's no inheritance tax. There's no having to rewrite the trust every single year or do a new trust. It goes from generation to generation and can hold money. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary. Whoever are the trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries. There's no contesting it in the will in court. There's no fighting amongst that. Even though I'm no longer on this earth, I have no children, so I have all my nieces and nephews. They can't fight over what's going to happen. Wonderful thing. 4th element, non-grantor. This is not a speed bump. This is someone who is never going to be a beneficiary. It's going to be the grantor or the settler. You will need their social security number. They're going to sign up to be the grantor of the trust. Then they're going to be the trustee for 5 minutes and then sign themselves away. It's not a speed bump. Either I can do this free of charge or somebody else at the law firm can do it for you. Easy peasy. Personally, I used a family friend of mine, Roy, 87 years old, was very happy to do it. Bad decision on my part because he had to sign his name 17 times. He has arthritis of the hands. Be a little bit smarter than I was. And then the last element, the spendthrift. This has gone in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions. Both times the Supreme Court has favored the Spendthrift Trust. You can't get more legal than this. Again, if you go out to my name, www.sallygimmon.com, I have a free course on the Great Discovery. The Six Sigma people started a new platform, and I'm going to show you 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I'm going to show you if you make $80,000 in all 50 states, how much you would save with the business trust. So let's get into this. Paul Benson, again, was a Harvard law professor who wrote the five trusts. The five trusts. The first one's the business trust. This is for U.S. business owners and U.S. 1099 income earners. You will save at least 90% on your federal income taxes yearly, and in 43 states, no longer pay state income taxes. Again, let me repeat this. 90%, at least 90% on your federal taxes, and no longer pay state income taxes. In 2022 and 2023, I personally saved 92% on my federal income taxes. I only paid 8%, and I did not pay North Carolina taxes. It's an amazing thing. So just give you an idea, if there's 43 states with state income taxes. South Dakota, Nevada, Texas, Florida, and a few others don't have state income taxes, but you will still save the federal taxes. Even if you move to Puerto Rico, you still pay federal taxes. So just to give you an idea, my favorite mom and pop pizzeria here in the Charlotte area have two locations, Roberto and Marianne. I know them quite well. They heard me talking to a friend of mine. Roberto asked for my business card, and in February of 2023, I met with the two of them before they opened. They're making about $15,000 a month on the two locations, or $180,000 a year. With both North Carolina state taxes and federal taxes, they are saving $34,395 a year at 90%. Maybe they're getting more than 90%, 95%, and everything else when they start taking deductibles, but that's what I can guarantee. Well, instead of paying off their mortgage, instead of buying a new car, instead of taking the family on a vacation, saving for retirement, or giving to a charity, what they did in 2024, they opened a third location. So they're making more money. And in 2025, they're going to open a fourth location. What they plan to do is continue working until 3036. When they retire, they're going to leave two pizzerias to one child, two pizzerias to another child. The children will save 1099 income taxes, and they too will not pay any inheritance tax. This can save them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a year. I've got clients all over the place. I have a husband and wife who have an auto repair shop in New Jersey. They're saving over $37,000 a year. What he's doing with the money he's saving is he's got 3 grown children. None of them want to work in the auto body shop. He's starting up a scholarship at the local high school to teach 2 people how to become auto mechanics. Another person I'm helping, she has a hair salon school, and she also has a beauty school. She makes over $1 million in California. We're saving her over $400,000 a year, and she is now helping girls who dropped out of high school to get a career at being hairdressers. Another family I'm helping. This is going to be with the beneficial trust. The wife, Jennifer, she is a Vietnamese boat person. She came over to this country when she was 6 years old with nothing but the clothes on her back. She and her husband have started a charity to help immigrants to get into housing so they can get a job and start working with things. My clients are doing amazing things with the money they're saving. So the business trust is for U.S. business owners and U.S. 1099 income earners. I have to apologize. I cannot help W-2 income earners. Now, the beneficial trust. This is for all U.S. investors. I don't care what kind of investing you're going to do. You're going to save the following 5 taxes year after year, generation after generation. Short-term and long-term capital gains on profits. Short-term capital gains are a year or less and are taxed between 10% to 37%, 7 different layers. Remember my story? I went from 22% up to 24%, and I owed the government so much more money. So if you are a wholesaler, you're a fix and flipper, you're doing auction houses, tax liens, maybe you're a forex investor. Forex investors, you get taxed twice, capital gains and interest income. Hold on, I've got a solution. You're doing crypto, you're selling crypto. You're going to be saving thousands of dollars in capital gains. Long-term capital gains are a year or more. They're taxed at either 15% or 20% when you sell an investment property, you sell your business, you sell crypto after holding it for more than a year, you sell a baseball card. I helped a family, a husband and wife who were selling a family restaurant. He and his brothers built it 42 years ago. They were selling it as is with everything in it, all the food, the cutlery, everything else for $3 million. At 15%, we saved him $460,000. And at 20%, we saved him $600,000. Jim is 69 years old. His wife is 67 years old. This is six figures for their retirement. Their business broker, who we had to change the contract, their business broker who had never heard of this trust, but got himself a business trust because he's getting paid 10% on selling the business. He also talked to the gentleman who was buying the restaurant. It was his seventh restaurant, and told him to talk to me because he did that. He got paid a referral fee. The gentleman who bought the restaurant is saving thousands of dollars. And now Sam, the business broker, has sent me 7 more clients. It's a fantastic relationship. That's capital gains. Interest income taxes. Again, this is taxed between 10% to 37%, 7 different layers. So if you are a passive investor, you're in a mutual fund, you're in a REIT, you're a forex investor, because capital gains and interest income taxes. Maybe you're doing subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I have notes where people pay me their mortgage. Creative financing, seller financing. You're going to save those taxes year after year, generation after generation. Number 3, dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, if you're a stock market investor, if you're a dividend investor, you're a day trader, you're an options trader, you're doing commodities trading, futures trading, or anything else, you're going to be saving thousands of dollars. It's amazing. I talk to more day traders. I have more day trader clients than almost anybody else right now. Then rental income taxes. If you're an investor, you're going to be paying between 10% to 37%, 7 different layers on all your profits. Yes, you can take depreciation. Yes, you can do cost averaging. But remember, you're going to keep your information private, and you'll pay no judgments if you get sued. Amazing thing. So my clients are saving thousands of dollars. Commercial real estate, Airbnb, short-term, long-term, 30 doors, 20 doors, arbitrage, you'll save all that money. And then finally, royalty income taxes. If you're an author, an actor, an actress, musician, you're in an NFT world, if you have copyrights, patents, or anything else, royalties are taxed a little bit less, 10% to 35%, 7 different layers, but you're going to save money there. The third trust we deal with is a charitable trust for 501c3 companies. Again, that's charitable trust. The fourth trust is for seniors, anyone who's over 65, and if you're making too much money and you're on Medicare, you can affect your Part B of Medicare. Part A is your hospital stay. Part B are your doctors and your tests. With the Spendthrift Trust, it's a solution for that. And then the fifth trust is the natural resources, maybe oil wells, shale, coal, anything like that. One of my clients inherited his granddad's horse farm in Oklahoma, and he's got 6 oil wells on that horse farm. My goal is to help as many U.S. business owners, U.S. 1099 income earners, and U.S. investors save as much money as they can. I can't do slides on this talk show right now, but when you go out to www.sallygimmon.com, I have a presentation with slides. I have the 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I have the 2 pages of case law, and I have that chart showing you how much you would save. There's 4 ways to file taxes: single, head of household, married jointly, married separately. Single's most expensive way. So if you're making $80,000, it's how much you'll save. If you're making more than $80,000, you'll save even more. My goal is to help as many people as possible. If you would like to set up an appointment with me, my website is www.thetrustisyou.com. And to set up an appointment, my calendar link is www.thetrustisyou.com scheduling. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you learned something new. Again, this is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. If they do change the tax code, it is contract law and they cannot change your trust if it's established before it was changed. All U.S. business owners, U.S. 1099 income earners making more than $80,000, and U.S. investors should know about this information because it's not taught in schools. Have a beautiful day and take care. Bye-bye.